Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. I got a new clone fragrance for you guys today, and it's one that you will definitely want to know about. I'm gonna run you, as of this video, about 35 bones. I'll have it linked in the description. Feel free to check it out there. And this is one of those ones where when you see the packaging, you see the presentation, you will know immediately what this is. So here's the box. Go ahead and check this out. What could that be? I got no clue. It doesn't look like anything I've seen before. No. So this is from Grandeur Elite, and the name of the fragrance is Tribal Gold. Now, while the box here, or the can, I guess, looks very similar to the fragrance that it is inspired by, the bottle does not. The bottle looks like this. Huh. So close, and yet so far. Huh? Now, obviously, this is inspired by or a clone of, an alternative to, whatever vernacular you like to use, of a very, 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 very popular fragrance, Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir. Oh, now I see the resemblance. And in today's video, I will be talking to you guys about this one and whether or not it's worth it, because actually this is not the first clone that I bought that is a clone of Le Male Elixir. I bought one before and covered it in a list video not that long ago. And yeah, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit too. And also, we'll talk a little bit about this one. There's a lot to talk about. Yeah, this is Liquid Brune by French Avenue. It'll make more sense why in a second. So for now, we'll just sit this right down here. As I said though, guys, this is linked in the description. Let's get started by taking a look at the presentation. So here we have the box/can. It looks like a can, but it's not really a can. Or is it a can? I guess it's a can. It's not really metal though. This is cardboard right here. So on the front, you have the name of the house, the name of the fragrance, you have the size and concentration, Eau de Parfum 100 ml. You have the name of the house on top of the can box, the box can. On the bottom, you have your ingredients and your barcode. And normally with a Jean Paul Gaultier fragrance, the bottom of the can would pop off right here. You would just pull that, it would pop right off. But with this one, it slides like so. So again, this is actually cardboard with a little metal topper essentially, and your bottle will sit right down inside there. It's kind of like a budget amouage, or like the older amouage bottles in terms of sitting in there all nice like. And here we have the bottle. You've got the name of the fragrance, name of the house right there on the front. On the bottom, just a small sticker, and then the cap slides into place. And it's got like a decent kind of, I don't know. Let's go ahead and share a couple sprays. Actually, the atomizer on this is really nice. There we go, pressurized atomizer. So for a lot of people, actually, that's gonna be a top-notch atomizer, even though it's on a cheap clone fragrance. Gotta love those pressurized atomizers. And we'll do a couple sprays of Le Male Elixir as well. Also a good atomizer on that one. So for most of you out there, Le Male Elixir is not gonna need too much of an introduction. This is one of the most hyped, most loved fragrance releases in the designer realm over the last few years. I think it is top notch, a fantastic release. For me, just as good as Le Male Parfum, if not a little bit better. It's got the performance aspect, good versatility in fall and winter, smells rich, luxurious, bold, good compliment puller, just a great scent. So you have in this fragrance honey, vanilla, tonka, also some lavender in there, mint that's gonna tie it in with the original Le Male. Just a great, warm, sweet, as I said, rich, sophisticated scent for fall and winter time. And sometimes a little bit difficult to find, especially if you're trying to pick it up for a good price, because it is in high demand, and that means it sells pretty quickly when it hits discounters. And when it does hit discounters, it's really not discounted very much. And when you can find that online at discounters, I mean, you're gonna be looking at a lot of times around $140, something like that, you know, in that price range. So like I said, not really cheap, which is where this comes in. But before we talk about that, I guess really quickly, the other one that I had found that I purchased before this one, Yasmin Gladiator Le King Elixir, or at least my assumption is that this is supposed to be a clone of Le Male Elixir based off of the presentation style of this one, not the bottle obviously, but the box. It's not in a can, but the color scheme and everything is very similar to Le Male Elixir, and of course the name Le King Elixir, yeah. But unfortunately, this is not a good alternative to Le Male Elixir. It's actually really floral, just doesn't really nail at all how this one comes across. So heading into this one, my expectations were tempered. I was hopeful, but after that last one that I got that was supposed to be this, but I'll tell you guys, Grandeur Elite has done a great job, and this is much, much, much closer to Le Male Elixir than the other ones that I've smelled so far. Now, is it the exact same as Le Male Elixir? It is not, but does it get very close? Yes, it does. I would say the main difference for me, especially off the top, is that this one over here lingers maybe a little bit longer on that lavender type feeling, that lavender mint in the opening as compared to the real deal over here, the Jean Paul Gaultier. So when you smell them side by side, you get a little more of like the fresher aspects of the fragrance, which, you know, that's not really the focal point of this one, but you get more of that over here. So you get more of that fresh aspect off the top in Tribal Gold than you do Le Male Elixir. Le Male Elixir more quickly goes into the vanilla, tonka, you know, honey aspect of the scent profile faster. So you're gonna have a little more of depth over here in the Jean Paul Gaultier, a little bit more warmth. But again, that's when you're spraying these on side by side, doing a comparison back and forth, or like I have right now. If you just spray on Tribal Gold and you don't do a side by side, this will 100,000% remind you of Le Male Elixir. And when you wear it, you'll get pretty much the same effect. It's gonna scratch that itch for you. It smells extremely similar to Le Male Elixir. It's just there's that little difference, that twist, if you will, in the opening, being focused a little more on the freshness, a little bit less on that deeper aspect of the scent profile in Tribal Gold. But again, they are extremely close, especially if you're not doing a side-by-side comparison, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There's a little more push for me from the Jean Paul Gaultier, but it's not really a big difference. It's not like this is a weak fragrance or anything like that. And I think really you can tie most of that to how this one develops. Like I said, more quickly heading into that rich, decadent aspect of the scent, whereas this lingers more in the top. At the end of the day though, Tribal Gold smells fantastic, really, really, really good. The quality is there. You can spray this on, smell it immediately. You don't have any of that, you know, wait for it to dry down aspect, none of that going on. A fantastic alternative to Le Male Elixir from a lesser known clone house. Though I will say, they did make this one as well. This is Iconic Nuit Cerulean, and this is a clone of Blue Electrique, La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electrique, and this one is actually really well done also. These are the only two that I've smelled so far from this house, but they're both really well done. And Iconic Nuit here is one of the better Blue Electrique alternatives out there, really, really well done. And this is the first Le Male Elixir alternative that I've smelled that has gotten close enough to where I've smelled this and gone, oh, okay, yeah, you could wear that instead of Le Male Elixir and not feel like you're wearing something cheap. Great alternative, very, very well done. So if you're looking for Le Male Elixir on a lower budget, lower price point, this is what you're gonna wanna get. Extremely well done. And that minor difference there, you know, in the opening through the mid, not a huge deal at the end of the day. It's kind of splitting hairs. And like I said, if you're not spraying them on side by side and going back and forth, you're not gonna care about that at all. Now let's talk really quickly about Liquid Brune. Remember I brought that up at the beginning. So this is by French Avenue, which is a part of Fragrance World. This is a clone of this, Altair from Parfums Marv. And as of this video, only for 48 hours though, but as of this video, Fragflex has a combo going on where they're selling both of these together, and you can use the code GOLDBURN, GOLDBURN, all one word, to save 10% off. And they have like the first 70 orders get a niche sample as well. I don't know what, but a niche sample, a sample of something that is niche. So you can scoop both of these fragrances up at once, which will also be linked in the description. And if you use that code GOLDBURN, you'll save 10% off and get that niche sample if you get in your order as one of the first 70. And I think it's a 48-hour sale. So just be aware of that if you're watching this in the future. You know, if it's past 48 hours in the future, then that no longer applies. But this one I did a review on not that long ago, and I'll tell you guys, this is just stupid, absurdly close to Altair. So this one is very, very close with some minor differences there, mainly again in that opening, but these are just like, you can spray these on tester strips and go back and forth. The difference is minimal, truly just minimal, minuscule. I've had these both actually sitting here for a second, sprayed out, and going back and forth. I swear, if you have just an average person smell these, and you don't say, okay, these are two different fragrances, can you tell the difference, blah, blah, blah. You just hand these to them, they're gonna go, this is the same thing. You handed me just the same thing. This is one of those clone fragrances that just nails, smelling like what it is supposed to be. A lot of clone fragrances are done and you say, you know, there's a twist, there's a little change, there's a little this, a little that. Yeah, this is just stupid close. Now, in the video that I did, the review of this one, I did say that there was, you know, small differences, but they really are just the tiniest of differences between the two fragrances. There's hardly anything to get worked up about here, at least in terms of like pointing out differences. You can say, oh, this one more quickly goes into the, you know, the praline aspect, that sweet aspect, you know, a little bit quicker than Liquid Brune, but it's, who cares at the end of the day. I have smelled many clone fragrances over the years, especially as they've ramped up how many are coming out and they've ramped up the quality and everything like this. Liquid Brune toward the absolute top in terms of, like I said before, nailing the fragrance it's supposed to smell like. It just smells like Altair. Let's do a quick little blast like this though. The main difference between the two is gonna be in the opening, and I think that's the hardest part for a lot of clone fragrances to absolutely nail, is the opening. It's one of those things with a lot of clone fragrances here lately where the first, I don't know, 5-10 minutes sometimes, you can tell that it's smelling similar to the other fragrance, but it's not exactly the same. And then once they hit the mid, it's like, oh, well now they're pretty much just spot on. And you get a little more of that in this as well. That's where the main difference is gonna be, if you wanna split hairs, is in the opening. And I think Altair just has a little more zest in the open, a little more, you know, liveliness, but really quickly settles in. They smell almost identical. And this is just, it's this, okay? It's that close. Other than that quick blast in the open. So I just wanted to bring that one up, mainly just because it's tied right now in a bundle to this one on the website. But I did review that one recently as well, so there's that. So there we go, guys. A new Le Male Elixir alternative, and then Liquid Brune, which is Altair. Both of these very, very, very well done. Actually, just recently, I was talking to a salesperson, a fragrance salesperson, shout out to you, by the way, and they brought up Middle Eastern fragrances as well. This is a person who, their entire job is fragrances at this point. A bunch of different fragrance brands that they sell, you know, that they sell for at a really high-end fragrance store. I'm trying not to like give it all away, but a lot of niche fragrance brands, a few designer fragrance brands, and also those designer fragrance brands have high-end fragrance lines as well. But we were chatting and he also brought up how Middle Eastern fragrances used to be just not that good, but that over the past couple of years, the quality has gotten insane. And he was just saying like how difficult it can be to kind of keep up with it, you know, as far as, you know, you should buy this fragrance, like this very high-end expensive fragrance, when you can get something 10% the cost that is like 95% the smell. And I agreed with him. I was like, yeah, man, it's gotten nuts. And these right here are examples of that. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Again, linked in the description. Stay safe out there. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.